So this is the one thing that helped me the most when it came to me losing 70 pounds. If you want to know what that is, please stick around to the end of the video. But before we get started, let me warn you, my little girls did just get off of school, so you're probably gonna hear them in the background, either fighting, yelling, screaming, or crying. One of the four. That always happens, but it's all good. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Logan Delgado. I am a proud father, a proud husband. I lost a total of 70 pounds utilizing the ketogenic diet and, most importantly, intermittent fasting. And I've now dedicated my life to help you, yes you, remind you that it is never too late to become what you might have been. So like I was saying earlier, what really helped me the most lose that 70 pounds was intermittent fasting. And fun fact, guys, I actually did intermittent fasting without me even knowing it. What you have to understand is when I started my weight loss journey, I had zero knowledge on nutrition, fitness, weight loss, diet culture, nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. So when my friend took me under his wing, wrote me a plan, I just followed the plan. That plan just happened to be a intermittent fasting ketogenic plan. But for those of you who are just starting your weight loss journey, I would say this: intermittent fasting is so important. And it is, in my opinion, the #1 reason why I lost so much weight. Now, before you go crazy and say, Logan, intermittent fasting, there's no way. There's no way I can absolutely do it. I need to eat. I don't want to starve to death. I'm gonna just say this. Don't panic, Hispanic. Everything's gonna be okay. You're not gonna starve, I promise. Taking a look back at it now, I wish I would have known I was doing intermittent fasting, and there's a couple of things that I wish I would have done before I started my intermittent fasting journey, which is why I'm doing this video today. For those of you who just are starting your intermittent fasting journey, you're starting your weight loss journey, I'm gonna give you some tips that I did not know about and I wish I had known before I started, because it would have helped me succeed much faster and, most importantly, not deal with all the problems that I faced when I started intermittent fasting. So let's dive into it, guys. Tip #1, the most important thing is to find a fasting time that works best for you. Now, luckily, guys, when I did intermittent fasting, it definitely did fit my schedule. What do I mean by that? I worked a 9 to 5. So what happens? You get up in the morning, you go to work, you have lunch at 1, and then you go home, have dinner, and the last meal is at 9. So I'd have my first meal at 1 o'clock and my last meal at 9. That's an 8-hour eating window, and that was perfect for my schedule because I worked a traditional 9 to 5. And the reason why that works so perfectly is because you have to understand, half of that intermittent fasting time, which was a total of 16 hours, 8 of it, I'm sleeping. So it doesn't even feel like I'm fasting. You're literally telling me I can't eat for 8 hours, basically, while I'm awake. And that is pretty easy. Most people can do that, I promise you. Mentally, you may say you can't, but I promise you, you can. So that was a perfect intermittent fasting window for me. But I will say this, if you're someone who works a night shift, if you're someone who works a 14-hour shift maybe, or maybe your work hours change throughout the week, you're going to have to adjust. It is so important to find a fasting schedule that works best for you. So only you can decide that. But I will say this, for most Americans, you're gonna work a 9 to 5. And so that 16-8 window, eating at lunchtime, and then either stop eating at 9 or 8 o'clock in the evening is gonna be perfect. Okay, so now we're on to tip #2. And this one's really important. And this is all about staying hydrated. It is so important to stay hydrated, even if you're not intermittent fasting. But if you are intermittent fasting, it's even much more important. And I can tell you this right now, most average Americans do not drink enough water. And most Americans do not get the proper electrolytes, which is why when most people intermittent fast or they start their fasting journey, they fail because they say, oh man, I get really bad headaches. Oh, I get cramps. I get these really bad hunger cravings. I'm lethargic, brain fog, etc. Those are all factors of you not being hydrated and getting enough electrolytes in. And this is one thing I wish I knew before I started my fasting journey, because these are all the symptoms I would get. I remember being at work having a massive headache, or at worst, waking up in the middle of the night with Charlie horses. Those were the absolute worst. I'd wake up screaming like, my calf's locking up. And again, I just didn't know. I didn't know what to do back then. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't know how important it was to stay hydrated, how important it was to get your electrolytes electrolytes in, because like I said, it's gonna stop all those symptoms, but also stop you from having those hunger cravings and those snack cravings. We all know snacking is bad. Do not snack, no to snacking. When you do get hungry, drink a big glass of water with some electrolytes, and I promise you, it will fill your stomach up and it will stop those hunger cravings. So it is so important to get those things in, which is why I'm gonna highly recommend you get yourself some Element hydration. I'm telling you, Element is one of the best tasting electrolyte drinks I have ever tasted. It has everything you need, which means a lot of salt, and best of all, no sugar. It has a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Plus, it has no junk, no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, no gluten, no filters, and no BS. And personally, one of the reasons why I absolutely love Element is because I hate drinking water by itself, guys. This is why I failed in the very beginning. I hate water. It is so freaking boring, which is why I need some type of electrolytes, some type of flavoring in my water, because I'll get bored and I'll end up not drinking my water, which is why I highly recommend getting some tasty Element, because it's gonna help you drink enough water, which is you're gonna stay hydrated, and that will help you get your electrolytes in. So right now, Element is offering my subscribers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets for free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all different 8 flavors and see which ones you like. So all you have to do is head over to drinkelementtea.com/goodybeats. This deal will only be available through my link, so I'll put that in the description below. So I want to give a special thanks to Element for sponsoring this video. Head over to drinkelementtea.com/goodybeats and get yourself a free sample pack with any purchase. On to tip number 3, and this is something that I always talk about on my channel. If you're familiar with my channel, then I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record, but it is so important that you make sure you get in at least 40 to 50 grams of protein per meal. Now, when you're intermittent fasting, it's gonna be very important because you only have an 8-hour eating window. And for those of you who like to go longer, that's only gonna leave you about 6 to 4 hours of eating. So it is gonna be so important that you have really big protein meals. But I will say this, for beginners, just start off with 16. It's such a great number to stay at, so you have a total of 8 hours to eat. If you are gonna only do 2 meals or only 3 meals, well then it is so important that you at least get 50 to 60 grams of protein in those meals. For me personally, I would probably get 3 meals in that 8-hour eating window, aiming for about 60 grams of protein per meal. So I would have a total of somewhere in the ballpark of 180 grams of protein. But again, that's just my personal macros. Everyone's macros are gonna be different, but the most important thing is that you get enough protein in. 1, that's gonna keep you satiated. 2, that's gonna help you build muscle. And 3, that's gonna stop the hunger cravings, because you're not gonna be hungry because you're gonna be so damn full from the protein. You better not lack on the protein, and it's so easy to lack on the protein when you only have an 8-hour eating window, which leads me to tip number 4. You have to food prep, guys. You have to food prep. I'm telling you, if you're gonna intermittent fast and just wing it, you're gonna set yourself up for failure. If you're just like, hey, at lunch, I'll just grab some food, I'll go get some fast food, I'll go here, I'll go there, I'm telling you, you're gonna severely eat under your protein ratio, which is why I highly recommend food prepping your meals. So when I was doing keto and intermittent fasting, I was food prepping all my meals, at least 2 meals, which those 2 meals would be at my office, right? When I got home, then I can cook my dinner, I can cook my meals, I don't have to worry about it. But at least for the first 2 meals when I wasn't at home, I had those meals cooked, ready to go in my refrigerator, in the break room, ready for me to eat. And one other important thing that I want to say, as I've been talking about, yes, when I did my intermittent fasting journey, I did add keto with it, but you absolutely do not need to add keto. That is the most awesome thing about intermittent fasting. You don't have to put yourself in a certain diet. You can do whatever you want. You can do your balanced diet. You can do a high carb diet. It doesn't matter. That is the beauty about intermittent fasting. Not only does it help you restrict your calories, and put you in a calorie deficit so you can lose body fat, but it also has so many other benefits. You're not constantly thinking about food. You're not constantly thinking about your next meal. You have a short 8-hour eating window, which gives you more time to be productive, to get work done, to record these YouTube videos for you. It just gives you so much more time that you can actually work on productive projects, productive things, and not constantly think about your breakfast, your snack, your lunch, your mid-snack, your 5 o'clock meal, another snack, and then your dinner, and then your dessert. Like, you know, I swear, people are eating like 9 times a day, and that's including snacks, which is pretty crazy. Don't snack. That's the beauty about intermittent fasting. It stops you from snacking. So there you go, everyone. Those are my 4 tips when it comes to intermittent fasting. I wish I knew all those things before I got started. Luckily, I did reach my goal of losing 70 pounds. It did take almost 2 years. I think I would have got there probably much sooner if I would have known these 4 things, but it's all good because at the end of the day, we got there. We're all on our journey. We're all going at different speeds, but the most important thing is that we do not give up. We keep fighting every day and we keep pushing forward, especially you parents, especially you dads just like me. I know you probably heard my girls throughout this video being crazy, and it's all good, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about raising a family, showing my girls the importance of staying healthy, being active, exercising. I want to give my girls the best, healthiest father I can possibly give them. And the best gift that you can give your loved ones is a healthy you. Do not forget that. So if this video did help you out, guys, please hit that like button, comment down below. Please share this with your friends for the algorithm god. And as always, guys, we absolutely love you. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.
1, 2, 3. Same feet. Plug my photo. There, I missed this.